Vegan. Okay, hi! Welcome back to my channel. I thought today I want to share with you my vegan story, or to say it better, what made me go vegan and how I did it. For those of you who don't know, I have been vegan now for a good 2.5 years now, and it's been one hell of a journey. I can safely say that I would never ever go back to eating animal products again, because I just feel so much better for ethical reasons, health reasons, and of course the environment. So yeah, I thought today I'm going to share with you my background story on how I went vegan. So just to give you a quick background info, I was raised within a family of meat eaters. I would just eat meat on a regular basis. Sunday lunches, I had my sandwiches with like ham. I love bacon and eggs and everything that comes with it. So I was eating meat, dairy and eggs, just like most of you, and didn't really think about where it was coming from. And I can remember a few years ago I was like, oh, that was after I've seen a bit of slaughterhouse footage, and you know what's out there. It's gross. I won't talk about it in detail or anything. It's just like, I wouldn't say it did something to me, but I was getting more aware of where the food was coming from. So I was like, in my head I was like, you know what, in the future I'd like to be vegetarian. But when I say future, I was like, maybe when I'm like 30 years old. That was me being like 15 and 16 years old. And I was like, oh, you know what, that would be cool, being a vegetarian at some point, not eating meat. But at that age I just couldn't imagine not eating meat, or I wasn't even thinking about veganism or going vegan. I wouldn't even know what that was. So all I can remember at this age was being a vegetarian. But no one in my family was a vegetarian, or no one was not eating meat, so why would I stop? Flash forward a couple of years when I was in South Africa. For those of you who don't know, I studied tourism, finished it with a bachelor's degree, and I did 1 semester abroad in South Africa. So I lived there for about 4 months, and South Africa is pretty good in eating meat. You see it everywhere. And the barbecue or the braai, there's always sausages, a lot of meat, chicken. Gosh, they love chicken. It was just everywhere. It was overwhelming because it was the first time that I was living on my own, kind of. And obviously I had to cook for myself. I mean, I did before, but it's different when your mom's around and she cooks and she kind of decides what's gotta be on the table, you know? So I was on my own. Naturally, like when I have the choice, I'd rather cook vegetarian, but when I go out, I'd eat meat, definitely. And other animal products, for sure, on a regular basis, on a, I want to say, daily basis. So I'm in South Africa, there's a lot of meat, and I'm getting overwhelmed with it. So I was like, dude, I really want to stop. So that was towards the end of my 4 months there. So I remember being in Cape Town for my last 2 weeks, and a couple of days before I was flying back to Germany, I was just in the mood. I had a glass of wine. And I was like, okay, let's watch something. And I'm not talking about slaughterhouse footage. I'm talking about something that's actually educating. So I was just typing into Google, and I think I was already following a few vegan YouTubers back then. And you know when they sometimes put recommendations in their info box with like documentaries to watch and stuff. So I was like, okay. So the first ever vegan documentary or speech that I watched was, I think it was called 101 Reasons to Go Vegan. And I'm definitely going to link it in the description box below, because that was a life-changing moment, honestly. He didn't show slaughterhouse footage at all, if I can remember correctly. It was just a guy speaking in front of students. And what he said would just make so much sense. Like, for example, he was like, if you gave a baby an apple and a mouse, what would the baby eat and what would it play with naturally, without you saying what to do or what to eat? And of course the baby would play with the mouse and it would eat the apple. And it's just like small things like that he was saying in his speech, and I was just like, what? This guy is kind of right, like, he's got a point. And I think it was about half an hour speech, and after that I was like so mind blown. That was the day I decided I'm never gonna eat meat again. And it was just like, it must have been like 10, 11 at night. I was watching this random speech in an Airbnb somewhere in Cape Town with my glass of wine, and I was like, I'm never gonna eat meat again. And I remember like the following couple of days I would not eat meat, and I would go out to eat like almost every single day because it's so cheap in South Africa. So I would just get like fried noodles and stuff, and it's all cool, you know, it's just vegetarian, like, calm down. So but it was all pretty new to me, obviously. So what I did after I got back to Germany, I obviously still continued with being vegetarian, but what I did first was I would still eat all the candy, you know, like sometimes, or like I want to say most of the time, there's gelatin in it. And guys, if you don't know that, you should Google how gelatin is made right now. Like, honestly, just pause this video and Google it. It's disgusting. Back then though, I was just not ready to give up all the candy, so I was just eating everything. I was eating marshmallows and Haribo and whatever there is on the market these days, and I was cool with that. So I did that for definitely a few months, I would say, just to like get a smooth entry, you know, into this whole vegetarian lifestyle. I never doubted though that I would go back to meat eating, because I was feeling much better, like mentally and also physically. It's not like I'm gonna go to that point later with the whole vegan superpowers, but I was just feeling better. Don't really know how to say that, but I just did. So I continued being vegetarian for about 3-4 months until I slowly cut down in the other animal products such as dairy and eggs. I would just remember that I was following a lot more vegan YouTubers, and thank God YouTube exists, because that helped me so much. All the what I eat in a day videos, all the nice inspo on Instagram with like yummy food. And I remember people were saying on YouTube, like vegan YouTubers, they were saying, oh, you can eat everything you want, or like as much as you want with the whole vegan diet. And I was like, ah, that sounds good. Just a quick disclaimer, like, before I went vegan, I didn't have a eating disorder at all. I was pretty normal, but I had a very unhealthy relationship towards food. So I'm just gonna quickly explain that. I don't want to make this video too long, but I feel like these days everyone kind of has an unhealthy relationship with food, or towards food, because all you see is like skinny people, and it's always associated with popularity and being famous, being popular, good looking, and that's just simply not true. But what are you supposed to think when you're 14, 15? So I remember being into weightlifting at around like 18, 19 years old, and I would go to the gym almost like 5-6 times a week, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like, please go weightlifting if that's your thing. But I was counting calories at that point, and I remember I would literally weigh every single thing, even to like, it would come down to like weighing my zucchini and vegetables and stuff like oats, you know. It's so good for you, and why would I restrict myself? And you know, I would eat about like a bit more than 1,000 calories, and that's just so unhealthy. And if I cheat, or if I eat like a burger or whatever, what do? Like, that's only one meal, and half of your calories are already gone. Like, what do you do with breakfast and dinner and snacks? So that time was a bit conflicting. But anyways, let's switch back to when I was slowly cutting back on animal products. I was watching more documentaries. I'm definitely gonna link a few down below in the info box, and I really want to make another video just talking about inspiring documentaries. If you're watching this right now and you're thinking about going vegan, or you just want to educate yourself where your food comes from, you know, it's not like you have to go vegan tomorrow morning. It's just about making small changes, small steps every single day. And this is how it started, you know. I was vegetarian for a few months, and then I slowly cut back on animal products. I was watching more documentaries, and I got to a point that was like probably after like 4 or 5 months where I was not cooking with animal products at all. Like, I wouldn't buy them anymore, I would just eat them when I go out. So when I would go out and eat, I would just order normal pizza with cheese on it, you know, or I would eat a croissant or whatever there is, or like a veggie burger with cheese on it. Nothing wrong with that, you know. But I wouldn't cook with it, I wouldn't buy it, I wouldn't bring it into my household. And this is how I slowly transitioned into a vegan diet. So I was cutting back a lot, and by the time I almost reached like 6 months of being vegetarian, I remember being on my mom's birthday party. It was her 50th birthday, and we had like this huge family gathering, and everyone already knew that I was not eating meat, and I was like the weirdo. So my cousin was like talking to me like why I went vegetarian, and I already told her about not really doing animal products anymore. But then dessert was coming, and I would just be like, you know, could be that it's vegan, but let's be honest, probably not. So I just eat it, you know. And she was like, but how do you claim yourself like almost vegan when you just eat that, you know? She was just trying to provoke me, obviously. Like, she wasn't really concerned about the animals, but that did something to me. She was like, why are you not fully committing to veganism then? And I was like, you've got a point there. Why am I not? Like, it's not that hard, is it? I mean, I'm not really eating it at home. I'm not really buying it anywhere, so, you know, might as well. And that was in January 2017, so a good 2.5 years ago, where I just said, okay, look, I'm gonna have this dessert. And the weekend after, I went fully vegan, and I never went back, not even once. It's been 2.5 years of feeling so good mentally, physically. I can't tell you enough. Like, I've got such a healthy relationship towards food now these days. It's incredible. I'm eating as much as I want and what I want. Like, sometimes people would ask me, but do you cheat? And I'm like, why would I even feel the urge to cheat? I've got everything that I need. It's because we don't need animal products to survive. We literally don't. I mean, look at me. I look pretty alive, don't I? I've got a friend who has been vegan for a good 6 years now. She's pretty alive, isn't she? So, without saying there's like hundreds of studies out there, just educate yourself, but I think what we all can agree on is that we don't need animal products to survive or to be healthy. We really don't. So, did that click? You don't need it. You just don't. As soon as you realize that, it just gets so easy. Like, take this, like this is my cheating, but it's not cheating, it's vegan. And it's not really, well, it actually says it's vegan. But you know, sometimes, look at this by the way, nice. Sometimes food doesn't specifically say vegan, but it is vegan. So there's really like a lot more to eat than you think. So if one of your concerns is, but what am I gonna eat? Let me tell you, I've been there. I forgot to tell you actually that was like before I even went vegetarian. I had like twice I had a vegan month before. So that was just like experimenting with veganism. That was more like for the detox kind of thing. I was imagining being like super detox when I just like get rid of animal products, and in a sense that kind of is true. Let's just ignore the fact that I was mostly eating chocolate during that month, but I had no idea what I'm doing, so that's fair. So that just like small things, like how to get into veganism or a vegan diet, and ever since I never looked back. And I can proudly say that I've never had any cravings after that first couple months. So if a vegan tells you that they never ever in their life of being vegan had any cravings of like for like animal products, they're mostly lying, because dude, cheese. But what about cheese? I know. Honestly, it has been really hard the first couple months to like almost half a year, but I would really recommend you to research about cheese or about dairy, because it's addictive. And I'm not saying it's addictive just like that, it literally is addictive. It's like taking drugs. It literally is. So of course, when you're addicted to something, it takes a while to like get it out of your system. So it took me a good half year, I'd say, like I honestly say like at least like half a year, until I was not craving it anymore. I never cheated, never did I cheat in this half year or like at any point after that, but I was just sitting in bed with like, oh, I need cheese. So it's completely normal if you're transitioning right now. It is absolutely normal if you crave animal products. It's what you've been brought up with. It's what you've been eating all your 15, 16, 20, 30, 60 years. It's completely normal. So yeah, I think I was talking enough in this video already. I told you my story. If you have any questions, ask me below in the comments. I'd love to make more videos talking about veganism, and wish you the best luck if you're thinking about going vegan or just cutting back on meat as a start, you know? Small steps. Appreciate the journey. If you watched this video up until now, then thank you for being patient, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.